Morning, my name is Eddie. So this is my fourth video. The topic will be self-balance perception. So I have already uploaded the video 1, 2, 3 and 4. I hope you go through the previous video first so that here you can understand better, okay? So this is about oneself, that means which is myself and nobody else, okay? So I imaginarily divided into two sections, whereby one section will be self-inward perception. The other one is self-outward perception. So for the inward perception, I name it as nature self. For the outward will be working self. So for the inward perception, what I can perceive is that we only need to eat, to live, and later, old age, to die. For the working self, we need to earn money, we have to work, and to have a good life. So like what I say, when I perceive inward, what I'm trying now is that I close my eyes and I perceive inward. When I open my eye, actually I perceive outward. So maybe now I need to explain that what perceive inward is that, like what I say, is only to eat, to live, and old age, to die. But on the outward, because we need money, we need to work to have a good life. So and also when we look outward, we have all the other people and nature and everything involved. So that's why I divided into two sections. Now I change a bit. What I do now is that when I close my eyes, I will perceive inward 100%. And when I open my eye, I will perceive outward and I will work wholeheartedly according to what I perceive inside, which I call it self-life energy. When I tried this recently, I really feel a bit different and more comfortable because I know what to do next. More confident, put it that way. But of course, there's still some don't understand portion. But I think hopefully I can find it as soon as possible. So I put it self-life energy. Like what I say, as far as nature concerned, there's actually no word. So whatever word I put here is just for me, for reference, and also how to explain to people what I mean. Actually, in nature, there's no word. Because nature don't care. Okay? Like the sun will still come up in the morning. Whether what we do, they still will come up in the morning. And they will set in the evening. Okay? So now for the outward, what I do is that I will only work according to my self-life energy. Okay. So now after oneself, roughly I know what I'm heading already. Any changes I keep you all informed. So now I put in another oneself. I put it as Mary. Myself is Eddie. Maybe put in two oneself. The other one is David. So every individual, of course, we are nature. We all have it. But only different is that I divided into two sections so that it's easier to explain the difference so that we can understand better. But as far as outward is concerned, oneself must think it is real. That nature has given us, even within us, inside, okay, inward, the self-life energy. Of course, this is my word, come back again, it's my word, you can put in your own words, okay? Of course, initially, we find it hard to find it because we never concentrate. So first thing is to think it is real first, before we can move the first steps toward it. If not, there's no target, so you don't know where you're going. There won't be any losses because you are still what you are. So you put you have to think first that it is real, that nature have given within us, inward perspective, the self-life energy. So actually it's up to individual to go and look for it. It's different because we are different in nature. So no two person is the same. Like what I do, I close my eye, I perceive inward. You have to find your own way how to look inward. Okay? So after having the self-life energy, whatever I have, doing now when I do our work is that I will do according to what I perceive. So recently I perceived that although we eat, live and die, in between we have to create a life. Make full use of this life before we die of old age. So the first thing I perceive, whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter because it's still yourself. You still can control it, okay? Healthy, happy, love, and bliss. So I will try this 4 items first, myself, because I need to know the result. Initially the same, I still put an imagining divider between myself, oneself, and the other oneself, Mary and David. Okay? Because when we perceive inward, the white portion in everybody, we should have it, but it's whether we are willing to divide into 2 sections or not. Is that you have to aware that there's such a thing like self-life energy. And then we have to control it. Because this is within our control, because it's within me. Nothing to do with outside, outward. It's inward. So we can control it because it's ourself. Nothing to do with the other individual. And the other portion is that we have to share. Like what I'm doing now, we share because it's good for every human being. This is what I perceive inward. It's okay. You perceive your inward and you will know what to do. You go according to it, I think it should be alright. Okay? So, like what I said just now, inward is be aware of it, we have to control it, and we have to share. We have control, okay? But for the self-outward perception, like the green portion between individual, we have no control. I have no control over you, you got no control over me. But the inward is different. Inward we can control ourselves. Whether to listen, whether to think or whatever. Because you already decided in your inward perspective. Okay? So the difference is that, for example, outside there's an influence like somebody is sad. Of course, outward I can view it. But the difference is that because under my control, what I do is that imagine that I built a wall in between. So it cannot get to me because inside of me is love or happy. There's no sadness, okay? There's no such thing as sadness. There's only happy. So instead of accepting the sadness and issue out to the other person sadness also, I issue the happiness. I share the happiness. Okay, because inside me is happy, so I have to share happiness. I cannot share sadness because it cannot come to me. You will stay in the outside area. Okay. So, for example, the outside, sometimes we work and then we hate to somebody because of their character. Whichever reason, it doesn't matter. Because like what I say, word is we put in one. Actually, there's no meaning. There's no word in nature. Okay. Same thing, we will block up with the wall, and inside me, I found love. Of course, I share love. The same with sickness, and the same with maybe you feel miserable due to the weather or whatever. It won't come into me because inside me is bliss. So that's the only difference I observe now. I hope to find more as I go on, but whatever I perceive is better that I explain so that later we can follow together. That's what I mean. If not, then it's very hard for us to talk to one another, put it that way. The outward. The outward is according to our inward. So outward we cannot control. So we have to accept and surrender to our inward. Okay? So like what you see, the self-inward is in white color. It's very pure because it's nature. That's why it's very pure. Okay? So unless you build the wall to differentiate between the inward and the outward, then of course the outward will always affect your inward because you never built the wall. I put it a wall. You can put in whatever word you like, okay? So now, like what I say, you notice actually we are nature. So of course all is one, okay? Nature, we are actually inclusive. Everybody is one actually, okay? Then for the outward perception, the same is inclusive. We have to respect the other person as what they are, and we have to accept them. It's the same that we wish that they accept us. But for the inward is different. For the inward must be exclusive, because no two human being is alike. We are all very unique, so we have to be very exclusive. Okay, we have to be very exclusive and unique. And if we perceive inward, so far I did see all is, I think it's good for the nature. I never see any bad thing, so I think it's good. It's good because when I look outward, I saw a lot of negative thing. When I look inward, mostly, not all yet, okay? Mostly positive thing. So I think it's good idea. So it's no harm trying, okay? So I think that's all for today. So I hope you go through my video number 1, number 2, number 3 before you come to this one, so that it's easier to understand, because as you know, I do a lot of short form abbreviation. So it's maybe you don't understand what I'm trying to say. So I think that's all for today. If there's any comments, you can leave in the comments column, and I will accumulate all together. And those I know, I will tell you. Those I don't know, I say I don't know. Okay, when I find out something, I will put in slide form also, because as you know, I'm not very good in explaining myself. So at least the slide can help in my explanation. Even you got any comments or any objection or whatever, just give me in the comment side, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.